I need you guys to tell me, do you say Appalachia or Appalachia?
Appalachia.
Appalachia. Because I'm not from here.
Appalachia.
I say
think.
Appalachia, but
Appalachia.
most people in the area are like Andrew.
Appalachia.
So I'll probably flip-flop.
Appalachia.
Um,
That people that live in Appalachia say Appalachia.
Appalachia.
Let's call up Aaron. Let's find out what he says because he literally lives in it.
He's from Florida.
That's true.
But he's lived there for quite a while now.
Yeah.
He's living the good life.
Okay, Appalachia.
Yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff that goes on there.
Of course.
A lot of ghost stories, a lot of different things. But
One of the oldest mountain ranges in the world. Actually, the oldest mountain.
yeah, I was about to say, I thought it was basically.
Goes all the way to the Scottish Highlands.
It's
The good old Appalachia.
It's got a lot of ghost stories. It's got a lot
A
of
lot.
like Bigfoot sighting stories. But the one that kind of caught my eye earlier this week and was something I kind of put in my back pocket. But since there was not too much of the alien thing to talk about, I wanted to talk about this one because this literally was one of the only places where in a court of law, they credited a ghost as a witness
Bet.
for why they locked somebody up. So
That's the logical reasoning.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what their court system was like
It's
back
Appalachia.
back in these days. But I started doing a little bit of research, and it's in a place called Greenbrier County in West Virginia, of all places. Oddly enough, where is it Virginia or West Virginia where Mothman?
West.
A lot of weird stuff goes on in West Virginia. But
Go on.
no, get it out. Say it.
No.
Do it.
No,
Do
it's
it
all right.
now.
It's all right.
All right. So in Greenbrier County, West Virginia, there's a little road that runs down into the mountains, and it runs by a church and a state marker that literally credits a ghost for helping put a murderer in prison. I don't know of any other cases where ghosts have been credited with anything other than being like, yeah, I saw something, and then that's all that it's credited with. But this is back in 1897, so keep that in mind. There's no real video of the ghost from back then.
Which this is just during the I think it's starting to slow down a little bit, but during what we were talking about a couple weeks ago, the really high spiritual time within
Spiritual awakening.
yeah, where they were trying to contact the dead, having seances and all that.
So there's a lady, her name was Elva Zona Shu. She was married to a blacksmith back in the day, which back in the day, a blacksmith was
A witch.
basically,
Yeah.
basically, they were also regarded as like very valuable within the town because they worked with metal. They could fix things, make things.
They were, besides the church, they were the center of the town.
Yeah, like he had a shop and everybody respected him and had, admiration for this man.
Her name sounds like a gypsy name.
Yeah, maybe. Her story doesn't go on too long though.
Uh-oh.
So she married this man, and there's a couple different, I guess, sources that say they were married from 2 months to 3 months or whatever, but it was very short. They get married, and then one winter day, Zona was found dead in her home. The doctor was called, and he didn't show up for nearly an hour because he thought it was fake. Even
What do you mean?
Why would he think it's fake?
I don't know why.
They must have called this guy multiple times and said, "We need your help. They're dying." Comes back.
Yeah.
It was just gas.
So I've been over there a million times. Don't trust her cooking.
She's not really dying.
But to his credit, Edward calls the doctor. The doctor doesn't show up for like an hour, who happened to live down the street.
He doesn't call him.
Well, yeah.
He calls for him.
Yes.
There's a difference.
He doesn't pick up his cell phone. Calls for the doctor, who lives down the street less than half a mile, doesn't come for an hour. I would think if somebody's dead or dying, you can run half a mile pretty fast compared to an hour. He doesn't come, but when the doctor shows up, Edward's grief was like over the top. He was crying. He was grieving that his wife was dead. He was always around the doctor asking, "Is she okay? What's going on with her? What's the deal with her?" The doctor tries to examine the body, but according to the doctor, Edward reacted strongly and says, "Don't touch her. I know that she's dead." Right there's like, okay, how?
Yeah.
But when the doctor asks, "How do you know she's dead?" "Well, she's not breathing. And I walked in from my shop into the house, found her lying here, and
Okay,
nothing."
so let me see if she's breathing.
So the result was just a quick look, and the cause of death was written down as everlasting faint, which I don't know what that means. I couldn't find anything that said
Everlasting fate. I guess it just means that she fainted.
Yeah.
There was like no.
Yeah.
Which they could have
That
contributed
No
that to
cause
like a
of
brain aneurysm. You know.
that doesn't mean anything until later on that it was a place marker for died in childbirth.
Oh.
Why would the doctor write she died in childbirth? She didn't have any kids. They'd only been married 3 months. She was not pregnant at the time. Nothing like that. So that's the second weird thing that's going on. Edward's grieving, but he's acting weird. And the doctor is writing up just whatever, it seems like.
Well, maybe he was in a mental state, a protective mental state, and he just did not want anybody to touch her.
Perhaps.
His mind was broken with grief or whatever.
So, but back in that time, when somebody died, if it was a man, the men of the town would take the body and prepare it for the funeral. If it was a woman, the women would take the body and prepare it for the funeral. But in this case, Edward didn't let anybody touch the body. He dressed her and prepared her for the funeral himself. Okay, he's grieving, whatever. So at the funeral, witnesses described him as guarding the body, not letting anybody get too close to the body, and some of them noticed that there was an odd looseness about her head.
Huh.
Like they would set her, because coffins and caskets weren't like what we have today. And back then, they didn't have all the, I guess, I don't want to say technology, but all the techniques to keep the body still. Even though rigor mortis is a real thing, and she should have been stiff.
Rigor mortis goes away after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So after rigor mortis goes in at about 2 hours, 3 hours after death.
Yeah.
And then after that, it takes about...
Isn't it a few days?
No, it's like 12 hours.
Oh, really? It's faster?
12 to 24 hours, I believe, for the rigor mortis to go away.
Well, the witnesses said that she had a looseness about her head, and that when any time the casket was touched or bumped or moved, it looked like she was shaking her head no. That could just be people bumping the casket, the coffin, whatever. But they said that was weird. And no other part of her body moved like that, just her head. So her mother, Mary...
Okay, I was wrong. It peaks at 12 hours and lasts for about 24 to 72 hours.
Okay. So a few days.
Yeah.
Zona's mother, Mary, she did not accept the explanation that the doctor had given because she pointed out the obvious. She was not pregnant. She didn't have kids. She wasn't pregnant. There's no reason for you to write down everlasting faint.
Yeah.
There's just no reason to. So within a few weeks, Mary told a bunch of people and all of her neighbors that made them cross themselves and cover all their mirrors at night.
That's an Appalachian.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she began telling everybody that her dead daughter, Zona, was showing up at her bedside mirror, waking her up in the middle of the night.
They also had, in folklore, they also had a extra door built into their homes.
Really?
One for people and one for spirits.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I did not know
They
that.
have. There's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Not skepticism, but
Superstition?
Superstition.
Yeah.
There's a lot of superstition around
Like,
the dead in Appalachia.
Yeah.
when someone passed away, like they would open up a window to let their spirit escape.
So Mary goes around. She tells all the neighbors, basically the whole town, hey, my daughter's showing up at night talking to me through my mirror. And everybody's saying, you need to cover your mirror because that's an evil spirit, this, that, and the other. She doesn't listen. Mary says that it happens 4 more times, like night after night after night after night. She keeps showing up. Her daughter is telling her all kinds of things that only Mary knows and that her daughter would know to prove that she's real. So, Mary claimed that her daughter told her that she had been murdered and that Edward was enraged and had strangled her and broke her neck. And that's why her neck and head were bobbing back and forth when people would touch the casket or move the casket or whatever. But here's the thing. You can roll your eyes at the ghost part and say that that's not real or whatever, or that's just, like you said, she's being superstitious. It's her imagination or whatever. But she saw the pattern of what was going on. She saw that the casket got sealed too quickly at the funeral. She saw that Edward was very standoffish, and she saw that the doctor's report was not something that should have ever been happening. So she starts putting all together the two, thing after thing after thing, saying this is not adding up. So she goes to the authorities and pushed for the body to be dug up and examined again. So they say, okay, let's do it. I don't know if they asked Edward or not, if they could do this, but however, they ended up doing it anyways. And they got her out of the grave, got her on an examination table, and everything that they found was not that she died in childbirth or everlasting faint, obviously. So they got a coroner. He looked at her. Her neck was broken and her windpipe was crushed. And he determined that if the broken neck didn't kill her, it was because she couldn't breathe. And she just suffocated because her windpipe was crushed. So Mary goes and brings this to the courts and says, this is what happened. Here's the coroner's report. Here's the original doctor's report. This is what happened to my daughter. This is where the courts had to make the decision. Do we believe? Because how was she able to get the corpse brought back up? My daughter kept visiting me in the mirror. For whatever reason, the courts said, in this case, we have to believe that the spiritual is real, which I believe spiritual is real. I don't know if the dead person can come back and talk to us, maybe. But for whatever reason, the courts ruled.
I mean, they couldn't deny the evidence.
Yeah. And that's what the courts were basically saying. Edward was arrested and excuse me. He's arrested, and sources say that on the night that he was arrested, that Zona was seen in multiple mirrors at night, laughing all throughout the town.
Nice.
This was before Mary let everybody know what was going on. But as soon as he was arrested, she was seen laughing, and multiple people came up to the courthouse and to the authorities that night, or the courthouse later on, but authorities that night, and said, we thought somebody had broken into our house because there was somebody laughing. Kids heard it, parents heard it, like audible laughing, and they would look in the mirror and they would see the dead woman. That's the interesting part.
Well, that's why people for millennia has thought that mirrors are a portal to another dimension.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
yeah.
a superstition that a lot of people have.
So Edward's convicted. He's taken to prison. He dies in prison. And it is said that this was the weird part. When Edward was said to be dead, multiple people say that he came back to that town and is still living in the mirrors.
So he was arrested and got capital punishment?
Yeah, they arrested him. The courts ruled in favor that, hey, even though this came from a quote-unquote ghost, we're going to believe, because you know how it is in courts. How you get the evidence matters.
Yeah.
Just like if a police officer doesn't read somebody the Miranda rights, even though they're guilty of doing the act or whatever, if they don't read the Miranda rights, they're off the hook.
No, that's a lie.
Is it?
It used to be. Then it was a court case came up and said that cops no longer have to do that.
Well, good for them. But still, with certain things, how you get the evidence matters. Like,
I know a lot of things.
He knows a lot of things.
I know a lot of things.
I don't know if that's true. I'll have to
That is
research
true.
on that.
Well, either way, how you get the evidence matters. So when she brought it up and said, like, hey, my daughter visited me at night, they had to believe that or deny that, and they chose to believe it. So now to this day, if you go into a courthouse, unless it's been changed, I couldn't find anywhere where it has been changed. If you go into a courthouse and submit that as evidence, they have to acknowledge that it at least could possibly be real. That a spirit told you.
That's odd. That's really odd.
Which goes all the way up to like the highest parts of our government, where that holds true, because if they take that away, then they can't have printed on our bills "In God We Trust," because that acknowledges a spiritual being.
True.
So my question for you guys is, do you guys think a dead person can come back and talk to the living?
Yes. There's biblical evidence for it.
Speak.
All-knowing one.
He knows a lot of things.
I do. When King Saul,
Yes.
he wanted to bring back the prophet and talk to the prophet. How did he do that?
Went to a witch.
Went to a witch, which he outlawed
Yeah.
and had many killed. And when the witch found out who he was, she started panicking out. I mean, she just started panicking, dude. And he calmed her down and said, "Nah, don't worry about it. Just give me Samuel." Was it
Yeah.
Samuel?
Yeah.
Yep.
He said, "Just bring me Samuel." And so she did, and they had he had a conversation with Samuel from the dead.
Yeah.
But that was through witchcraft.
Yeah.
Can somebody pop up in mirrors?
Well, and then in the New
don't know.
Testament with the Lazarus and the rich man,
Yeah.
it's kind of implied that it's possible because he says, "Well,
Go-
send Lazarus to go talk to him."
Yeah. Go
Yeah.
go
If
back
it couldn't
and tell
happen,
my
then
family.
we said, "Well, we can't. We're stuck here."
Yeah.
But he said, "If I send them, it won't do any good."
But he did say to,
Who?
he said they have the prophets, and if they're not going to listen to the prophets, they're not going to listen
Yep.
to you.
Yeah.
But the implication is like technically it would have been possible.
Yeah.
I mean, he talks about Abraham's bosom.
Mm-hmm.
I know we had this conversation offline a couple days ago or something. But there's that. There's, I don't know. Like we've talked about it on the podcast before, but like, can spirits hold on to a certain place if a lot of bad or something happens there?
I've also heard that not necessarily everybody, but some people have angels that look like them.
Like a guardian angel?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, that would make more sense. I don't know. I've never had that experience where someone just pops up in a mirror that's died.
I
Like,
Well,
think,
y'all ever played the game Bloody Mary as a kid?
Yeah.
no.
or you go into
You
the bathroom.
Go
yeah.
in the bathroom, turn off the lights, say Bloody Mary 3 times.
Yeah.
And Bloody Mary's supposed to pop up in the mirror behind you.
Was it behind you, or are you supposed to look at it?
Supposed to look at it.
I don't know. Maybe I did it wrong.
I thought it was.
Andrew did it wrong.
I guess I did it wrong, but yeah, I played Bloody Mary before. Of course, nothing happened, but
But you did it wrong.
Because your unbelief.
but I'm just saying. I mean, it has to do with the mirror, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just,
Something
I
popping
don't
up.
know how I feel about it because it seems like every time someone has that type of experience, it's like, to me, it's like an evil experience.
Well, like if we take it on its nose and for face value, this one, it just showed up and was like, "Hey, I was murdered. You need to go make this right." Basically, is what it was doing, because she said it didn't do anything else but like try to tell her.
Yeah, but then it has to go into the notion of spirits having unfinished business.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in that necessarily. I don't
Yeah.
believe that. You
Like people
have,
coming back from the dead. And
yeah. Once it is appointed once for man to die, as Scripture says.
Except
That's
for
why I
Lazarus.
think-
So
That's why I think it's like an evil entity because, or a demon or something, because like, why would there be like an angel manifesting that
'cause
way?
once we die, our soul
Yeah.
goes and waits for Judgment Day.
I think there's always exceptions that God can make to certain things, but I also think that with all the superstition, especially in that area of the country, how it's
Yeah, I
so
mean, there's still
rich in it.
superstition. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
people still believe in all of the ghosts and everything, and that ghosts literally live there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think that she was obviously a very smart woman, and her seeing the pattern of what was going on with Edward being weird, the doctor being weird about the diagnosis and all that, which nothing ever happened to him. I thought they should have looked into him. But I couldn't find, I thought maybe perhaps he had been Edward's friend or whatever, but I couldn't find a link.
Unless she came up with all of it herself and tried to use a ghost as leverage
Right.
for
But
them
the real kicker is with the rest of the town,
Yeah.
with supposedly
Yeah,
her
that is
popping up
true.
in the mirrors in
It's a little freaky.
other homes.
Yeah.
Now, did other people see her or just hear her laugh?
From what I read, there's multiple accounts of people seeing her once Edward was convicted,
Okay.
because they thought, okay, it's all done, take the things off the mirrors, whatever, and that. But multiple other people did hear her in houses, like, you know how somebody has a certain voice, certain laugh, you hear them,
Yeah.
you can kind of guess who it is.
And I imagine if it's in West Virginia, it's a small town.
Yeah. It like it was and still is a very small town. I don't even think many people live there anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's always interesting to hear opinions and see what people think about it, because it's
So
just
what's the conclusion of this matter?
the courts have to acknowledge that spirits are real.
Hmm.
At least they did in this one.